Hey guys, this is Luthais and welcome back. Today I'm doing a requested video about vehicle part spawns, where they spawn, where you can search for vehicle parts. And yes, so this is an in-depth guide to building up vehicles. Now, vehicle parts are very associated with places where you'd think you'd find vehicle parts. So right at the beginning, the first place I want to show you guys is in Brightmoor, and it's personally my favorite spot to build up a vehicle, and that would be at the factory buildings, especially the ones with the broken glass. As you can see, when you walk in, you've got a bunch of shelves here where you can find all kinds of parts, like jerry cans, batteries. I've basically found everything here, guys. So if you don't like running around, then I'd suggest just bringing a friend, or if you're alone, just looting here. And if you've got a heavy part, go put it in the vehicle and then come back. And yeah, you can just log out here if it's not very busy, and come back every 15 minutes. So you can basically log up all the time until you've got all the parts. Behind the factory building, you've got this kind of junkyard here as well, or rubbish dump. And yes, you can still find various kinds of things here, but at the back there's a little hut. And again, you'll find tires. The boxes are extremely important, guys. Boxes are basically meant for base parts and vehicle parts. Okay, so at the moment, I don't know if it will change at all with the 1.0 beta release, but for now, that's where you're getting vehicle parts. And then still at Brightmoor, if you go south of Brightmoor, you get to the lumber mill, which not a lot of people visit. But it's actually also a great place for vehicle parts, weapon parts. It's just basically an overall good place to get various items. And it's usually quiet because not a lot of people come here. So this is actually a perfect place for logging out and then logging back in after 15 minutes so that the loot respawns. Will help you a whole lot. And yes, I knew about this spot. But these days I don't really focus a lot on building up vehicles. But what I found very interesting is that there's a vehicle spawn here, a buggy spawn. And if you guys do a bit of exploration, that you guys of course know, I always try and inspire you to explore as much as possible. There's a few lost little houses in this area as well, where there's a quad spawn and other vehicle spawns as well. So yes, just giving you a good tip there that exploration is very important, especially if you explore the places that other players don't. You'll get really, really interesting loot. Of course, these little bunkers on the shelves, there's always vehicle parts. As I always say, vehicles are really great. And here at the lumber mill, there's a metal base part spawn as well, okay, which you can tow away if you want to. And yes, I see a lot of guys are farming the metal parts. And that's a bit sad for me, but yes, let's not get into the raiding. Let's just focus on the vehicles. Here I'm basically showing you is that I found the buggy, and somebody was trying to build it up. So I just basically threw all his crap out of the trunk, and I saw a base very close to the lumber mill. Now, every base you encounter, you have to try and look for weaknesses, guys. First thing you have to do is make sure you look for traps, okay? The last thing you want to do is walk over a bear trap at this point, because a bear trap will kill you with one shot. They'll fix it in the new update, but yes, for now, be very, very careful with base traps. And of course, yes, you want to look for weaknesses, you know, like that base was only 2 walls high, so if I get a truck, I can get over the wall, you know. And then when I'm in the base, I can just log out, and when I log back in, I will be outside the base. So yes, various kinds of advantages you can take there. At the moment, I'm at the Derby, near Pinecrest, and yes, the little house there at the bottom has got loot in. These tents in Pinecrest and Clyde Hill and various places where the tents are empty. Like, for instance, at the military base as well. Those empty tents don't really give you great loot, so people tend to skip them. But when you're looking for vehicle parts, they are really good places to get vehicle parts. And of course, here in the little garages, you get it as well. And yes, guys, here's the little lost house which I was telling you about. Brightmoor is down there. Yeah, so I'm trying to give you a few tips. There's the bridge, if you can see it in the distance. The Orchid Dam is right there at the top. So yes, giving you a few direction tips here. But as you can see, a lost little house and a quad. And you guys know exactly how much I love quads, you know. So it was a really good discovery for me. And again, it's on its own, guys. The risk of you dying while you're building it up is very low. So another incentive just to explore, to get to places where the risk is lower. Here again, you can see the guys put down a lot of traps. And quite creative. But again, it's quite easy to get over the first wall, and on the side you will see that this is a low wall, so still the side wall is still just 2 walls high. So with the truck I can get in here as well, okay, and just peeking through the window to see he's got electricity going inside there as well. But yes, guys, remember, as you're exploring, make a mental note of the bases and get a piece of paper and make markers, you know. Here I almost got a heart attack because it was at night and I was building up the vehicle and I shot a mutant and a horde spawned on me and then the dog almost killed me. So yes, don't think vehicles protects you. Okay, that's a big tip for new players. When you get into a vehicle, do not think you are protected. Any mutant can hit you, any dog can bite you, you can still get hurt, okay? For the old school guys, just think of it like it's Cujo, you know, and he wants to jump through the window or something. So yes, just gonna go park my brand new buggy here. And yes, I love the quad, but the buggy is still a very nice plaything, and I haven't flipped the buggy yet. So I hope, you know, that luck factor stays, still helps me. And as you guys know me, I can't resist this, you know, just showing you something that I find very beautiful and immersing. And yeah, my guy looks really cool with the ghillie suit in the snow. Yeah, I'd love a kind of backpack in the ghillie. I'd love the ghillie to have like a storage unit. But in any case, let's get back to the vehicle looting, guys, as you guys have requested. Again, these barns, very unpopulated areas, but again, you can get vehicle parts in there. Just search properly, guys. You can get vehicle parts there on various locations. These little broken down huts, which nobody really cares about anymore, again, the vehicle parts. Remember, guys, the places that you have explored and found useless because you didn't find weapons there, or you know, the loot wasn't great. Those are the places where there were vehicle parts. Okay, so again, a lot. And then the boxes, like you can see here, I find a jerry can. So you know how many boxes there are all over Orca Island. So if you can get places with a lot of boxes, you can get quite a lot of loot. There's just the military airfield that I'm looting here. And yes, I was first at the hangars. Then I came down to this little storage unit here. And yeah, getting spark plugs and a battery just off one little place. And of course, tires are very easy to see. And yeah, as you can see, it's the same time of the day. So I have to go put those parts in and come pick that up again. On the airfield, there's those little broken down broken down Boeings. And yes, batteries again. In boxes and close to boxes. You can see a battery, drive belt, and then we're sitting here between Salton and Woodhaven. Again, getting parts on vehicles. And then, yes, guys, the loot is, applicable to where you think it might be. So gas stations is, of course, a great place. Outside, you'll have to search a bit. Like here you can see the spark plugs hidden there in the moss. So you'll have to search a bit. But again, outside you can find dustbins at the gas pumps. And you can get parts in the little dustbins. But the back room in a garage is of course the best place to find loot as quickly as possible. And of course in the shelving inside the garage. And then of course your shop and saves. It's not just meant for food, guys. You can get a lot of vehicle parts inside there as well. Not really tires, but we're looking at oil and jerry cans and drive belts and, spark plugs. And one big tip I can give you guys, we're still in Salton here. Yeah, the tires are very, very easy to spot and see, okay? And quite easy to gather. So what I would say is, if you loot for vehicle parts, remember the drive belt and the spark plugs, okay? If you get the spark plugs and the drive belt, keep it on you because it's very light. It doesn't take any weight. The tires and the battery and the jerry cans are very heavy, so those parts you normally need to carry one at a time. But when it comes to the oil and the drive belt and the spark plugs, doesn't matter if you're not looking for a vehicle, okay? Always have that in your base or on you, okay? If you don't want to take up the inventory room, just put one battery, one spark plugs inside one of your crates in your base. As you can see in Woodhaven, these factory buildings are here as well with great loot. And then you can do a nice jumping challenge upstairs. And then again, outside, you get these little garages and storage units. And yes, guys, I mean, everywhere there are vehicle parts. But yes, in my opinion, the only time I've gotten frustrated is when I was looking for spark plugs. Like, it feels to me drive belts are quite common, but spark plugs seems to be the one thing that will take a lot of my time. So yes, that's a very, very big tip. Doesn't matter if you're looking for a vehicle or not looking for a vehicle, okay? You never know when a vehicle is going to despawn inside a base because the guy hasn't interacted with it, and then, you still walking around and you walk into a freaking armored SWAT van, and you think, great, but now you have to take time to go search for everything. So again, having these parts at your base is, very important, at least the small ones. Okay, you don't really want to carry the big parts all over the map because maybe the armored vehicle spawned at the dam and you're basically, on the other side of the map. So yes, That's very important. Again, when you've built up a vehicle, fill the vehicle up with tires and spark plugs and jerry cans and whatever. If you're not crazy about the vehicle that you've built up, I mean, I've built up that little slow airport little drag cart at the military airfield, and then filled it up and basically just kept it until I found another vehicle, and then I can take all the parts to that vehicle once with one shot. Okay, and I can leave the vehicle that I built up the first time. I can leave here for a friend, or for any other lucky person that's lucky enough to find it, and I can drive away with the vehicle that I want. Okay, now yes, the SWAT van is the best armored vehicle, and yeah, it's not really fast. Okay, I love a bit of speed, but again, I wanted to test if it can kill a spider. Okay, I just wanted to test if it can kill a spider mutant. Is it fast enough? Nah, it's not fast enough. Okay, a spider mutant isn't fast enough to get out of the way, and I don't have to hit it more than once like the brute. Which, if you think about it, guys, the spider mutant has guides and great loot on it as well. So, what does that tell us? Maybe farming for spiders with a vehicle is a much better idea than farming for brutes. But in any case, I hope it helped you guys. The dam has, of course, got great vehicle parts as well, but of course I don't really come to the dam for vehicle parts. And yes, just showing you guys a bit of bad luck here. So I'm running on the wall. Always love just finding different routes to stay safe, and then I fall off and I try and see if I can get to the bottom. Okay? Which of course I'm not going to, because I swim until I've got about 50% oxygen left, and then I swim back. But if you guys ever wonder why some people knows where everything is and find secrets and stuff like that, or you're struggling to find loot, it's because they explore everywhere, guys. So just remember that. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. We're close to the 1.0 update, and yes, this is going to be my last video in the series on the old version of Miscreated. The last episodes, I think we've got 2 or 3 videos left in the series. It doesn't matter. I'm going to finish the series with an extreme loot guide, where I'm going to show you guys all the hotspots on the 1.0 update, and then of course my last video will be an extreme 1.0 beta showcase, where I'm going to show you guys everything that's new in the game. I might make it a few more episodes, than I need to make it, so that it's not too long. Maybe part 1 and part 2. But guys, I'm going to show you everything that's new in the beta release, give you some fun PvP moments. And yes, if you want to be notified of future videos, just click that bell button. And if you're new here, trust me dude, just click the subscribe button. I'll be teaching you a lot about this game, and helping you to immerse yourself as much as possible. This is Luthais, guys. Have a great day, and remember, always just have fun. It's just a game, guys. Just have fun. Cheers.